Hey guys, Shiny Squirrel here, and today this is Running with the Pack. I know I did a video on the same thing earlier today. Well, earlier today as I'm recording this is going to actually be a Monday. Um, or actually, yeah, I'm probably going to upload this tomorrow afternoon. But I just got done watching the race and I finally got time to record this. I told you guys I would, so here I am recording my review of that Martinsville race that we just had, the STP 500, which was really the Brad Keselowski 446. I mean, Logano, he started on pole, led a good 6 laps, but pretty quickly got knocked out of the way by his teammate, who then went on. Um, Brad Keselowski, he was fast today. In the first stage, I think the only real notable thing that happened in stage one was, well, obviously, um, Logano getting knocked out of the way on lap 7, and then um, Michael McDowell losing a tire on lap 66, sending out a caution, and then Keselowski won the race off pit road and continued to dominate all the way to the checkered flag of the stage. No real competition or no real competition or challenge for him in that stage. And stage two was relatively the same, except for we had I believe it was in stage two that we had um Ross Chastain's axle fall out of his car. That might have also been in stage three, but we had fairly uneventful stage two. Brad Keselowski went on and dominated. Man, he did a lot of that today, going on and dominating. But actually, with on I think it was the third to last restart, Chase Elliott gets the lead, and he is about to win his first Martinsville race with about, I think it was 100 to go. He was still leading, and then the caution flag flies. His pit crew isn't able to get him out in time. And actually, he loses out to both Brad Keselowski and Kyle Busch. So then it starts with those two on the front row. Then really the final two restarts were awesome battles between. I mean, Keselowski, he was kind of just out in front of the battles barely, but then from second through about fourth was awesome racing. We had Kyle Busch, Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, all basically swapping positions. I don't think Ryan Blaney actually ever got up to second, but sure as he was definitely willing to go and try to get it there. And in the end, as I kind of hinted when I said the Brad Keselowski 446, yes, Brad Keselowski won the race, leading 446 laps for his 29th career Monster Energy Cup Series win and his second this year, as well as winning his first two stages of the year because he hadn't actually won a stage, which I kind of found hard to believe that he actually hadn't managed to win a stage at some point this year. So, and then one of the other notable things in the running order was the fact that it was a lot of Fords and Toyotas like we've seen all year. Stewart-Haas did perform better. My prediction from earlier today that Amarola or Boyer would get this win, they were pretty close. They were both top 10 most of the day, except for Boyer, who had 2 speeding penalties there at the end. But in the end, Penske was the Ford team that got away with the win today. And in the end, even though I'm not a big Brad Keselowski fan, I have a lot of respect for someone who can dominate a race like that. Same thing with Kyle Busch at the Brickyard a couple years in 2016. Kyle Busch at the Coke 600 last year. Martin Truex Jr. at the Coke 600 a couple years ago. I mean, there have been some great drivers who have just dominated races, and this is just another one to add to that list. But the other thing I did want to mention with the talking about how it was a lot of Fords and Toyotas. I said I thought one Chevy or one of the Hendrick cars would do well. I didn't realize that was going to be the only Chevrolet that did anything all race. Chase Elliott, one of those guys I mentioned that would have a good enough day, that would have a great day. He ended up finishing second, which that's amazing for Chase Elliott. Good job. But in the end, the next best Chevy was Austin Dillon, and then Kurt Busch, and then Ty Dillon. Yeah, see where I'm going with this? Hendrick Motorsports appears to have a few issues that they need to resolve. I don't I don't know what actually happened with William Byron that put him so far back, but I mean William Byron and Jimmy Johnson were both irrelevant pretty much all day. Um, and actually Byron failed tech inspection earlier this morning, so he actually had to start in the tail end of the field along with a few other drivers. A lot of the other drivers that missed it weren't really that notable either. I mean, they were like the Rick Ware cars and um, the DJ Kennington number 77. But yeah, and then Jimmy Johnson, he was pretty irrelevant, which I want to see Jimmy get an eighth championship, but I just unless he extends his career to some either another manufacturer or Chevy figures out whatever they need to, um, I just don't see them being able to pull off an eighth championship within either this year or next year. And from the looks of it, that appears like that's when Jimmy is planning on ending his career, which I think from just kind of analyzing, I actually have a diecast over here of the Chevrolet. I think the only thing I can think of that's outstandingly different between that and the Toyota diecast is the fact that the Chevrolets have more of a beak, kind of the front end being really pointed, which seems like it would be aerodynamic, but it really doesn't help when we get to a track with bump drafting, which is nearly every track over a mile nowadays. And it also doesn't really help with bumping people out of the way, which you see at pretty much every track a mile or less nowadays, except for, I guess, Dover. So, yeah, I really would love to see um, something better for Jimmy Johnson in the potentially last years of his career. I mean, no doubt the guy is close to the end of his career, and we don't know if he's gonna sign an extension with Hendrick Motorsports. We don't know if he's gonna be done in 2021. Really, we don't know much of anything. We've from the seat swap he did with Fernando Alonso a few months ago makes me think that he is not going to sign an extension, but he might go and look at other avenues like IndyCar road course racing. He actually specifically mentioned was a avenue he was looking at, and he also said that he was not looking at a full-time IndyCar season because his wife and family didn't want him racing the ovals. So I guess we'll get to see what is next for the seven-time champion. And I wish I could say it. I wish I could say it was positive news, but I mean, when Bowman is your second best car, and actually I'm gonna look up the point standings just to just to see where they all have kind of cycled out in points. But so let's see point standings, playoffs. Let's see where they are around the chase bubble. Right now there are two Hendrick cars in the top 16. And Jimmy is in by 1 point. So, yeah. Hendrick Motorsports, and to be honest, all the Chevy teams really need to step up their game because, I mean, Larson's been kind of irrelevant, which I think that might be to do with the package the last couple of weeks. Because it definitely feels like, as well as a bunch of the stuff I said earlier, I don't want to go too much into that new package, but it definitely feels like the getting back to the throttle, which clearly was usable this week because they had the aero package. But if you ever had to lift at any of the tracks with this with the 550 horsepower, they just don't go like it just takes so long to actually get back your momentum after lifting that you basically might as well have not lifted. So I think that's where a lot of Kyle Larson's advantage has gone. But really, these Chevys need to figure something out, or else it's just going to be Ford and Toyota until a new manufacturer comes in, or maybe, hey, how about let's just get rid of the splitter and see how that goes. But yeah, so this has been Running with the Pack. I'm Shane Squirtle, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See you guys later. Bye.